Alright, so welcome back to our next video. I literally just made a video giving an update on the 50k funded account, and I'm making a new video right now kind of going over the new updates I made to the indicator. So yeah, so as for the indicator, I made maybe like 2 or 3 updates to it. I added this session target where it maps like where the true liquidity is for the session, for the New York session, as well as I added this, so it can now tell you in advance when there's going to be a potential liquidity grab or reversal, a trend reversal incoming for the day, and it prints like a red X above the candle to show at what point it signified it. So on this day it was a bullish day, right? A potential, but it was a bullish day. But then at this point, so yeah, it was a bullish day, and as you know, it confirmed it at the close of the last candle in the range. So at 8 AM EST, the range printed a bullish day, so you should start looking buys. And at this point, like 2 candles later, it printed that there might be a potential liquidity grab or reversal incoming. And as you can see, price went and grabbed liquidity before pushing further up as intended, since it was a bullish day. So it's pretty accurate, and it should, well, I mean, I don't think it will affect me with my entries, with the type of entries that I use, but it should help. If anyone plans on using the indicator, it should help them to know when to at least wait for the liquidity grab, or to at least extend their stop loss, to be more safe. But I'll go through some more examples to show like it being how accurate it is. So on this day, and by the way, it didn't print a session target for this day. It did, but because we can't go back any further, it can't like draw the line out. Same thing for this day. It wasn't this high. It was a high like somewhere right here, but because we can't print any more candles, it won't show it anymore. So yeah, so as for this day, it was a bullish day, so you should start looking buys. Whether your entry model is IFVG, flip, fair value gap, order block, ICT, this, that, support, resistance, supply and demand, whatever your entry model is, the only thing this gives you is the bias for the day and the target, and you enter your own entry method. So it gave the bias for the day, and price pushed up into that target, or wherever the target was at the time, right? And the next day was a bullish day as intended. The target is right here, with dip, made a V-shaped recovery, and delivered right onto the target. But I don't think this was a target. Let me check. July 22nd. Let me go on the 50-minute time frame. July 22nd. Yep, as you can see, that high was not the liquidity. As you can see, the session target was right here at the time, and it went up there, sweep that, and we reversed. Let me go back now. Yeah, so this high was not the target at the time. It's only showing this now because we can't load back the candles. Yeah, the target was somewhere up here. So it's pretty accurate, as I said. Now as for the next day, we had a bearish day, so whatever the entry model is, you enter on that, and price delivered to where the session target was. Price delivered straight towards it. And the next day, this was an invalid day, so we don't enter any trades on this day. You just sit on your hands. And on this day, it was a bullish day, and it printed the session target up here. However, what you can now see is with the new addition, it showing or signifying when there's going to be a potential liquidity grab or reversal incoming. It signified right here. It gave a warning right here. And what happened after that? Price completely reversed as intended, or as warned, I should say. So it did give the warning, and price reversed. So it's accurate, as I said. This day was a bearish day, and the session liquidity target was down here for this low, Where is it? It was this specific low right here, and I think I got an entry right here this day, and price, it did stall for a minute, but it did eventually deliver down to it on this day. And what happened, it go right to it exactly and reverse. So it's not just any random high or low that it marks, it's pretty accurate with what it marks as the session target. And this day was an invalid day, so there will be no trade this day, but the trade from this day was still running and it hit the target and reverse. Now as for the next day, we had a bullish day right here, and price delivered straight up into what it marked as the session target, and we got a reversal. Pretty accurate. Next day, same thing. We printed a bearish day, so at 8 AM we start looking sells down into the session target. Target was hit, price reversed. Accurate. This was an invalid day, so no setups this day, or no trades. This day as well, this was a bullish day, and what happened? Price delivered up into the session target, sweep it, and reversed until market rollover. And then the next day in Asia, it started to pump further. So as I said, it's pretty much accurate with what it chooses for the session target. Sorry, it didn't choose this high, this high, this high, nor this high. It chose specifically this high, and that's what got run and gave a reversal, as well as what the bias predicted for the day, which would have been bullish from 8 AM to the rest of the New York session. So this day was a bullish day, but it's not showing what the session target was because it's far beyond the candles. But it was hit obviously, and the day printed bullish, price delivered higher. And look at this day as well. This day printed bullish, right? So at 8 AM you should start looking buys with whatever your entry model is. However, right here, price warned that there would potentially be a liquidity grab or reversal incoming. And what happened? Price went and grabbed liquidity before delivering higher into the session target. So as I said, it's pretty much accurate. And this day we had a bullish day, so at 8 AM we start looking buys with whatever entry model. And what happened? Price delivered up into its session target, which isn't showing currently. But yeah, it did hit the session target with this news candle. I think this was NFP. Yeah, this was NFP, so it predicted the NFP move beforehand. This day, same thing again. Right, let me remove this. This would have predicted the potential liquidity grab incoming, which, let me put back this, which I only made these adjustments like 2 days ago, so I wouldn't even have known that there would have been a liquidity grab incoming. So I took a loss this day, right? But yeah, it printed a bullish day, so at 8 AM you start looking buys with whatever entry model you have. However, at around 8:15 or 8:10, price gave the warning, or the indicator gave the warning that there's going to be potentially a liquidity grab or reversal incoming. And what happened? Price went and grabbed liquidity from this low and delivered higher, right, into the session target as intended. This day was an invalid day, so no setups. And this day was the CPI day, so let me remove this as well. I did get stop out of this trade. It wicked me out and sticked me as well, but the day printed bullish, right? So we start looking buys at 8 AM and price should deliver up into the session target, which it eventually did, but not before the news came and I guess wicked everyone out after that trade. And then at that point it printed that there might be a potential liquidity grab or reversal incoming, which it did give a reversal, but I guess it was pretty much late. Well, it's not late because it did predict the reversal, but some damage was already done at that point. And the reason why I printed on this candle is because how it signifies the potential liquidity grab or reversal is in the discrepancies in the volume. So I won't go too much into it, but yeah, so with the volume that came on the news candle, that kind of like marked that there was something incoming. Yeah, but I won't go into too much as to what exactly it looks for in the volume. But yeah, so this day it did deliver to the target, but it did some damage first, unfortunately. And now this day, same thing happened. Let me remove this. Boom. So yeah, we had a bearish shape printed. So we start looking sells at this point, and then this candle, which would have been the news candle, which had some discrepancies in volume, which caused it to signify a liquidity grab coming or reversal. And as it reversal, meaning going back bullish instead of bearish. So it did go bearish, but it did get a liquidity grab, however. So it printed on this candle, and what happened? Price came and grabbed liquidity first before pushing down into the session target, which it respected and reversed a little before continuing down. So pretty much accurate, as I said before. This day was an invalid day, so I did not look any trade on this day, or you would not look any trade since it's invalid. This day again, we look at this at 8 AM EST, the range printed a bullish day, so you start looking buys. However, right here you signify that there's going to be a potential liquidity grab or reversal incoming. As you can see, we sweep this low, and price reverse up into the session target as intended. I'm gonna delete these. As intended, right? So whatever your energy model might be, whether it's XAUUSD, you look for a close above this candle, you enter, or some IFVG flip, whatever it might be. You use your energy model and you enter in the direction of the session target. So you don't have to close the trade right here, you can close before it, whatever your RR might be, or you can always just go for session target, but don't aim beyond it in most cases, because sometimes it might like hit it and reverse completely. Only thing that this signifies or marks out is where price might take out during the session. It doesn't mean like price is gonna hit it and reverse back to change trend immediately. It's just telling you where the liquidity is for that specific session. So that's about it so far. Let me see. Alright, this day was an invalid day, which it kind of saved me from entering a trade because price was just chopping for the most part before it delivered down. And then today, you know, which is the 19th of August, we're waiting for the range to close at 8 AM, and then it will give us what the bias is for the day and where is the session liquidity or session target for the day. So that's the update on what the indicator. I would also have like this watermark thing as well, and I added some macro timestamps, which only works on the 1 minute time frame and 3 minute time frame as well. So the only thing it does is highlight the time where a reversal might happen. So let me zoom in and show an example. So the first macro would have been between 8:50 to 9:10. As you can see, it did provide like a reversal within that time and push up, deliver up into session target. Let me see. This day was the bearish day. What happened during that macro? Price went up and sweep this high, and we have fair value gap flip here, IFVG, and then price delivered down. This day price was already at the target by the time of the macro. Let me find another day. Alright, here's another day. This day price went and sweep these lows and reverse, however it did end up going lower. And in the second macro, price went and sweep these lows and then gave a V-shaped recovery and reverse up into session target. Alright, I can't go back any further, so yeah, everything in it is pretty much accurate so far. Turn those off. Yeah, pretty much accurate, but I haven't published the indicators yet. I'm trying to get some more data on it, more forward tests. I have, like, I guess couple months data back test as well as forward tests. I've been forward testing it since around May, so May, June, not May, I think April. So April, May, June, July, and we're now in August. That's been 5 months that I've been using it, and it's been pretty much accurate, especially now with the added features, which are the session target and the warning labels, which tells you when there's going to be a liquidity grab or a incoming reversal. So I'll probably add some more stuff in the future, but as for right now, this is the indicator.